Why your damage is low? This is the question which I got asked a lot of times, and finally I'm going to make a video with the mistakes regarding the damage, because if your damage is low in open field PvP, unfortunately you are not going to get the merits which is required for you to get some warped skills, for some decoration chests, and lot of important items from the merit store, right? There will be a lot of things which is required for you to have a big damage in Call of Dragons, and of course we have to start with the heroes, right? At first, let's start with the basic, and one of the first mistakes players are making, and that's unfortunately mainly free-to-play players, regarding the skill levels and what skill levels are required for you to actually start using your legendary heroes, right? Unfortunately, for all the free-to-play players, this will be a big painful topic. 5-1-1-1 heroes won't gonna do the job. Unfortunately, that's the reality, right? I remember myself when I was in a season 1, it was a different topic, because there were a lot of players who were using 5-1-1-1 skill levels on their legendary heroes. At the time, it was totally fine to do that, but since game is already out for like 3 years, more than 3 years, running your legendary heroes like 5-1-1-1 or even 5-1-4-3, it's not enough for your heroes to deal enough damage, so you will get at least 12 million merits every single KVK. In my opinion, minimum which you have to have is 15 levels on 4 skills. That will be already good enough to start using heroes, right? Because we have a lot of heroes like Magrat, which can have like 5-5-5-1. Also, Island can be used 5-1-5-5. And generally, Garrison and Rally heroes, level 1 on Garrison and Rally skills, but level 5s on PvP skills will be enough. That's a big painful moment for all the free-to-play players, because I know how rough and how hard it is to actually acquire legendary tokens in this game, and you can't really have every single hero awakened, right? That's why I have always been saying, try to focus on one march, and then whenever you're gonna finish those marches, finishing it means at least 15 levels on 4 skills or awakening, then start investing in other legendary heroes. That should be minimum, right? And of course, we are going to stay in hero section. Hero pairs, right? Not every single hero works with each other, and not every single awakened hero works good with each other. Synergy matters more than actually awakening heroes, right? As I have said many times, synergy is the most important, right? Of course, for archers, Magrat and Zaida is the perfect synergy. Ruby and Kylan is the perfect synergy. These two legendary hero pairs will always give you a lot of merits, and they will always deal a lot of damage. For the mages, Youngming and Gromara will always deal a lot of damage. Lilia and Welin will always deal a lot of damage. So even here in hero pair section for heroes, depending what kind of synergies you are looking for, maybe you are looking for damage, maybe you want more control, but since we are talking about damage, you should know which heroes are dealing the most damage for every single troop type. For cavalry, Urag and Neya will always deal a lot of damage. Agnar and Freya will always deal a lot of damage, and of course Emrys and Bakshi from season 1 is a damage dealing hero pair. For infantry, Goresh and Skogul will always give you enough merits by dealing damage from counterattack, especially in season 2. After that, Kuma and Lake 1 will always deal a lot of damage, and same goes for Joren and Elanir. Basically, hero synergies matter more than just putting some legendary heroes who has high levels together and praying that it will be enough. No, it won't gonna be enough, and that's the reason why I have been making so many hero guides, hero pair guides, and playstyle guides. That's basically regarding hero pair synergies, and also we have to speak about the talents of the heroes, right? There is some talent trees for every single troop type which will increase your damage overall in the open field PvP, and that's not actually all the time the PvP talent tree. For marksmen, basically, highest damage dealing marksmen are generally precision talent tree marksmen, because that's the talent tree for marksman heroes, for archer heroes, to deal as much damage as possible from a single hero pair. That's why you will see primary heroes for archer gameplay being the heroes who has precision talent tree in their talents. For example, Magrat and Zyda, right? Magrat is primary. Ruby and Kylan. Ruby is primary. If you want to go in season 1 and you want to have a damage dealing hero pair, Nico is a precision hero, and Kinara, right? That's already third damage dealing hero pair, and even in season 2, Syndrion has a precision talent tree, and Syndrion and Freygar, Syndrion is always a primary hero. Of course, so I won't gonna go into details regarding the talents, which ones are good or bad, because it will require us a lot of time. For the mage gameplay, it's pretty simple. If for archers it's precision, for mages that's skill talent tree, excels at dealing heavy damage with rage skills, right? And mages are dealing mainly damage from their rage skill. That's why primary heroes for the most damage dealing hero pairs like Lilia has skill talent tree. Yunming has skill talent tree. Wardun, which will be primary hero for Wardun and Kantaman, is skill talent tree. Basically, all the heroes which has a skill talent tree will deal more damage than the heroes who has control talent trees, and of course, I'm not even speaking about supports, right? Support talent tree heroes won't gonna be the highest damage dealing hero pairs, but depending which will be your other hero pair with supports might give enough attributes and enough power to deal damage like that. For infantry, that's different. In order for us to deal a lot of damage from infantry, you have to be tanky as much as possible. Longer you are going to survive as an infantry player, more damage you are going to deal. That's why tank talent tree is the same style as for archer's precision, as for mage's skill, and for the infantry, that's tank talent tree. Kuma and Lei Kuan, well, Kuma is totally different hero in terms of infantry heroes because it has a life drain. Joran and Elanir, you can see Elanir has a tank talent tree. Basically, tank talent tree can take heavy damage in battles, but at the same time, whenever you can take heavy damage, it means you can survive longer, and by surviving longer, you will deal more and more counterattack damage. For the cavalry is really mixed because skill talent tree can be workable for cavalries because cavalries are dealing damage by the skill and by the rage. That's why Urag and Neya, one of the best hero pairs for dealing damage for cavs, has skill talent tree. Agnar, which I have mentioned, has skill talent tree, which will be always the primary heroes. Even Theodore has skill talent tree, and even Emrys and Bakshi, sometimes people run Bakshi because Bakshi has skill talent tree on their heroes, right? So basically, for hero tops, we already mentioned 3 mistakes in terms of talents, in terms of hero pair synergies, and of course skills, right? Since this game never stops only by heroes because we have way more features of this game, we also have, in my opinion, one of the most important features in open field PvP, that's Warped feature. And whenever Warped feature was introduced, people thought that it was only for like accessories, right? But I will be honest, Warpeds are like third heroes, and in many occasions they deal even more damage than legendary awakened heroes. So in this meantime, in these 3 years of Call of Dragons, if you are running your war pets like main talent skills 1 star or even 2 star, you should never be critiquing yourself that you are doing low damage. Nowadays, minimum in terms of warped skills, you should have 3-star talent skill in order for your warped to actually deal damage. Because almost everybody, especially in higher stages of the KVKs, almost everybody has 3-star talents, and what's the difference between good warpeds and bad warpeds are already other skill stars. For example, 3-star chain strike, 3-star intense chain strike, and so on, right? So basically, if you are running your hero pair and you have a warped which has 1-star main talent skill or even 2-star main talent skill, you should never wait that your hero pair with that warped will be dealing a lot of damage. But if you have 3-star main talent skill on one warped, on second, on third, on fourth, that's when you actually gonna start checking your statistics, and you will see how much of an increase you have whenever your warped is 3 stars on their talent. And main talent skill is the most important talent skill for the warpeds in this game, right? Already, like in the past, it was 2-star main talent skill was enough, but nowadays, after 3 years of gameplay, minimum you should start using your warped is when you actually have 3 stars on your talents. And of course, the more stars you are going to add towards your warped, like for example, my Shadow Manticore deals highest amount of damage out of all of my warpeds simply because I have 3-star chain strike and 3-star intense chain strike. I also have like 2 stars here, but difference is huge. Like you can't even imagine what kind of difference it makes whenever you have 1 additional star, 3rd star especially, on any skill of your warped. But mainly, of course, it's all about main talent skill. And yeah, that was like basically 4th mistake which people are making, and they are not doing enough damage. And of course, I will speak about artifacts, right? I know artifacts can be leveled up, and maximum level for the artifacts is level 5. But it's a big surprise for me because I have only 2 level 5 archer artifacts. The last KVK I had only 1 level 5 archer artifact, which was Gilded Crossbow. And in my opinion, you should not really look at the levels of artifacts as a problem. The problem is when you don't have legendary exclusive artifacts at all, right? I would say give your attention to at least unlocking your artifacts, especially the exclusive ones, which are not gettable from the normal draw, such as Gilded Crossbow, Roaring Rager, Iron Tusk, Rattle Spear. These are the artifacts which you can't get on a daily basis. You can get on some events, such as Forge of Light, for example, but never be dissatisfied if you have like Rattle Spear only level 1, right? Because it will still do its job. Main idea about artifacts is always regarding additional effect. That's the idea of exclusive artifacts. Don't be discouraged. Don't think that you are not dealing enough damage because your artifacts is not level 5. Even level 5, level 1 artifacts will do its job. And of course, whenever you're gonna unlock those artifacts, you will slowly prioritize most important artifacts for your troop type, and you will try to max it out one by one, like I'm giving you advice regarding legendary heroes. Don't go and don't spread your resources on every single artifact. That's why I was trying my best to make level 5 Gilded Crossbow. When I did it, then I turned my attention towards Roaring Rager. When I finally accomplished my goal, now it's time for Iron Tusk. which is level 3, and then I will wait for new archer artifact. If it will happen sooner that I got iron tusk level 5, then I will go put rattle spear level 5, and then I will wait for new archer legendary artifacts. So prioritize unlocking artifacts and slowly increasing levels one by one. Also, the playstyle, the mistake number 5 or number 6, playstyle matters. In this game, we have 4 troop types, which is infantry, cavalry, archers, and mages, right? Since I'm a ranged player, archer player, in my opinion, playing defensively as a ranged player is the way to play this game. If you are having all the skill levels, all the legendary heroes awakened, every single artifact is level 5, you have exemplar wish artifacts, you have all the war pets maxed out, but you don't understand how your troop type should be played, and you are always moving forward, always trying to deal as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, that's not the playstyle you should be playing. Archers and mages are defensive gameplay. You are waiting until your opponents are making mistake because you have a range. This range doesn't really mean that you should be offensive because you have one of the lowest amount of march speed in the game. One simple move and one simple mistake and you are getting caught, and unfortunately, no matter how strong your march is, you won't gonna deal damage because you are really squishy, impossible to run away, and that's the end of your march, right? Play defensive, wait for your opponent's infantry players to move up, wait for opponents, archers and mages to make a mistake, and then you are going to punish those mistakes. And trust me, in open field PvP, everybody is making that kind of mistake. Also, all the cavalry players, never rush in if you don't have any other choice of escaping, right? If you're gonna bomb with your 5 march, 1 or 2 ranged players, and you know if you're gonna do that, you will get stuck and it will be impossible for you to get away. Unfortunately, you are making a big mistake, right? You should be always calculating if I'm attacking is correct. If I will attack, I should be able to get away. That's the idea, in my opinion, how cavalry players should play. And also for infantry players, there is one thing, infantry players' gameplay is totally different. You want to have as much aggression as possible, you want to have as much targets as possible, because more targets you are going to have as an infantry, more damage you are going to deal. So, aggressive gameplay, cavalry and infantry, defensive gameplay, archers and mages. That's basically all the problems which I can acquire and which I got the questions while playing this game. Why your damage is low? Of course, I won't even gonna speak that tier 5 units are minimum, but at the same time, whenever I was tier 4, I was still getting at least 12 million merits. Of course, last KVK was even better, I had 36 million. This KVK was pretty bad because there was almost no activity, but hopefully next KVK will be even more fun and I will get even higher and higher merits as an archer main player. And yeah, hopefully after watching this video, you will go and fix your stuff, you will fix your heroes, your talents, your war pets and your artifacts, and more importantly, your war gameplay, because if you don't understand how to fight in this game, no matter how strong your march is, you won't gonna deal enough damage to get a lot of merits. As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.